Same Mike D'Antoni, man. That's why we had to run his ass up out of L.A. And I remember when he came to L.A., man, I thought it was actually a pretty decent thing. I thought it was a good thing. And you know why? Was that when – I believe that was during the time when we got Steve Nash. And so, obviously, the great success that they had in Phoenix with Steve Nash being the point guard. And I thought, Nash is old, but he's back with his boy D'Antoni, and this could be a good thing. We can do what they did down in Phoenix. Plus, we had Kobe Bryant, and, we got Dwight Howard. This is going to be good. Little did I know, Dwight Howard had no heart. Steve Nash was shot as a player. And Mike D'Antoni and his bootleg-ass, stupid-ass system can't win in the playoffs. Let me read some messages in the chat room on Spreaker.com. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? From Montana Jones, he says, Spurs showed last night that Kawhi is not an MVP-type player. They always look better without him. I just read the stat where they're 5-0 without Kawhi Leonard and Tony Parker. It's hard to argue that right now, but Kawhi is a great player. He's a great player. He does do it on both ends of the court. I'm not going to say that he's not a great player in what we've seen this year, but it does kind of give you pause to think about the fact that last night they looked better in this series than they had in any other game. And they didn't have Parker or Kawhi Leonard. Is it a situation where Pau Gasol and LaMarcus Aldridge, they're more free-flowing because they're dependent on more? They're not standing there watching Kawhi Leonard with the ball dominate the basketball. They're able to get incorporated into the offense a little bit more. I don't know. But it's very, very interesting. From Mike Dingle. This ain't no Mike Dingle. Mike Dingle, my homeboy. If it was Mike Dingle, he wouldn't use his damn profile pic from the University of South Carolina back in 1990. But anyway, Mike Dingle says, remember how Kobe wouldn't shoot when they lost that playoff game in Phoenix? Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that. But that was in Phoenix, though. This was home. Houston Rockets. And listen, I'm not trying to make excuses for Kobe. That was a bad, bad look. But this, I think, is even worse. The fact that you lose by 39 points at home, nah. Now, this is way worse than that game Kobe had. From Clay Harden Choke Davis, LaMarcus finally showed up, but he did it without Kawhi, though. Yeah, it's very interesting. From Slug O'Bab, then it's up to the coach and the staff to make the necessary adjustments. Basketball 101. From Coach Noy Bramble, it's sad because I grew up listening to Flex and stuff like this. Just makes you look at him differently. This is the first time he did something like this a few years ago, talking about the whole Funk Master Flex thing where he's nominated for some bald penis today on the Doug Stewart Show. Once again, the nominees are Bethune-Cookman President, Shad Moss, James Harden and the Rockets, the Orange Guy, Funk Master Flex, Chucktown Frank for very disrespectful comments to your fearless leader, and Dwight Howard for not having no insurance. From Andre Elam, don't think it had anything to do with the coach. The players laid down, especially James Harden. He was just terrible, Charles Barkley. Yeah, if you're talking about, I think you have to give some of the blame to D'Antoni because he is the coach, because he couldn't figure out a way to stop the bleeding. I think he does deserve some of the blame. But at the end of the day, you got to execute on the floor, man. I would put more of the blame. I don't know what percentage that would be. I would put more of the blame on Harden. I mean, you're the guy, you're the number one option in this team. You're in the conversation once again for the MVP. MVPs, they figure out something, man. If the jump shot's not working, we always talk about it how, the great players, they realize and they figure out real early in the game that if that night their jumper isn't on, they figure out a way to get to the line. They figure out a way to get their teammates more incorporated, to get their teammates better looks. And last night they just, not only did they weren't able to figure it out, but it's no rational explanation you can give me for James Harden not taking a shot for a quarter and a half at home. There's no rational reason. I haven't heard anything about the guy was sick or anything like that. There's no rational explanation for a volume shooter. Like, James Harden takes a lot of shots. It's not a situation where he's a guy that has like a great percentage where he shoots, 60% from the field or whatever, and he does a lot of it at the line. This guy is a volume shooter. This guy is either shooting a three-point shot or he's driving to the basket getting an easy layup. This guy didn't take a shot until the middle of the second period? Okay. Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast says, here's my feeling on Harden. One bad game doesn't relegate Harden to being a role player or a sixth man off the bench. No, I agree with you on that. And listen, I did kind of walk it back a little bit because it's just so shocking. But you do have to put in perspective, and this is just me talking right now. I'm going to get back to the comment here in a second. You do have to take into account how great the man was this year. And I don't want to forget that. All I'm saying is these last two games just don't make no sense. They just don't make sense. The end of Game 5 was ridiculous. And last night was unbelievable. He said he's a top 10 player in the league that averaged close to a triple-double. Role players don't average close to triple-doubles. With that being said, he didn't assert himself in the game enough. Not enough shot attempts, too many turnovers, and a coach that couldn't adjust to what was happening. Just my 10 cents. And I agree with a large portion of what you're saying. And I think you guys, Trey and Maestro from the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast, they were the main cats arguing me down that Harden should be the MVP. I mean, listen. Russell Westbrook is a lot of things. You probably could classify him as a ball hog in the ball hog category as well. But the last thing that you're going to say about Russell Westbrook is that he ain't going to go out shooting. And I think that's what you can say about most great players. They're not going to go out like that, like freaking, what's that dude named? Willie Lump Lump. Man, James Harden went out like Willie Lump Lump, man. Whoever the hell Willie Lump Lump is, that's how James Harden went out last night. From Redland, them boys Kirk, Doug, James Harden is dealing with that Kardashian curse. These ninjas need to leave them damn Kardashians alone. Right. Maybe that's what it is. Some remnants of that Kardashian curse. From Jan from Snellville, true Montana, but it's going to be ignored today for Doug's argument. I'm sorry, what did Montana say? And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. From Big LX Squad, Red, Harden got some Kardashian Nusi before that game, damn. From, let's see, LD from the D, they got a Magic City in Houston. No, I said whatever the equivalent is of Magic City in Houston. From DJ Maestro Love, Griff, Andre, Denise, Corey, Ducky, Mocha, Thorny, just giving shots out to people in the chat room on Speaker.com. From Sluggle, from X Squad, says, now Doug will have to look out for Dwight Howard and Harden on flights. Ain't nobody studying the damn beard. I wish James Harden would say something to me. LD from the D, when you throw in games, you do that type of ish. Check to make sure he ain't got no family members missing. Man. I mean, listen, man. I don't know. If I were the NBA, I would launch some type of investigation. Remember we were talking about Ole Miss, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Remember we were talking about Ole Miss for like the last couple of years, and I kept saying like there's so many red flags that Ole Miss is cheating and that they're paying players or whatever to come and play in Oxford, Mississippi, that I would be shocked if the NCAA didn't launch an investigation. You know the story. They did that, and these cats are about to face all types of penalties and sanctions or whatever. What I'm saying to you is this. If I'm the NBA, if I'm the NBA, there were too many red flags on how James Harden played at the end of these games, or the end of Game 5 and Game 6 last night. Like, it doesn't add up, period. I would launch a full-scale investigation into his ass. I'm not saying the man point shaving. Once again, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying the man throwing games. But I would launch a full-scale investigation. from the Wait a Minute show, Greg O'Brady on the Madden cover. You scared? First thing I did, I opened up ESPN.com last night. First thing I see is Tom Brady, old crazy ass. And they got the new Madden game, Tom Brady on the cover, and at the top it says GOAT Edition. If I would have thought about it, we would have put EA Sports. We should have put EA Sports in this damn list of nominees for Ball Peanuts. The GOAT Edition. Oh, my gosh. I keep forgetting, though. Little cousin plays for the Go Patriots. From Sluggo X Squad, everybody can score in the NBA. The difference maker is defense. He doesn't teach it. That's why he sucks as a coach. It's a very good point. From Felpay, we had to run his ass out of L.A. Come on, Doug. The nearest L.A. to you is Lower Alabama. Laugh out loud. That's pretty good, Lower Alabama. I like that. From Coach Noy Bramble. Good morning, Coach Bramble. D'Antoni is like dating a stripper. Looks good, feels good, but will never get a ring. Did y'all see that motherfucker on the bench last night, man, looking so dejected? Because you know what was running through his mind. Oh, man, this is more proof that my system ain't shit. Oh, my God. But he keeps getting jobs. This man has had he has coached the premier organizations in the NBA. The top 3 organizations in basketball. You know, he coached in New York, which I can argue they're a top organization in basketball, but a lot of y'all believe it. The man coached the New York Knicks, the LA Lakers, the Phoenix Suns, and now the man the head coach of the Houston Rockets, all with that shitty-ass offense. And game plan. You know what D'Antoni like? D'Antoni kind of like the way that we looked at June Jones in the NFL. You know, with that gadget-type offense or whatever, it never worked, and which is a little bit different today. A lot of these offenses kind of resemble what June Jones was doing back in the day, but kind of like the June Jones of the NBA. I mean, bad look, man. We get back from the break. It will be hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show, 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. We'll read a lot of your chat messages, a lot of football we need to get into. Don't go away. Fantastic, freaky, funny Football Friday. Back in 3 minutes.
My swag's on the ring the scale. 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 And I be sweating out the tail, step out. Oh yeah, I be sweating out the tail, step out. Oh yeah, I be sweating out the tail, step out. Oh yeah, I be sweating out the tail, step out. Okay, I am Mr. Greatness. You may wanna take this. Introduce me to a skill, I guarantee I break it. Introduce me to a beat, I guarantee I rape it. Earthquake flow, 2012. Doomsday. I'm a cool kid, and you are just a stepchild. I am so sci-fi, bringing out the X-Files. Label me the true troublemaker in the booth. There's a hole in my ceiling, cause my swagger through the roof. My swag's on the ring the scale. 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 And I be sweating out the tail, step out. Oh yeah, I be sweating out the tail, step out. Oh yeah, I be sweating out the tail, step out. Oh yeah, I be sweating out the tail, step out. Oh yeah.
If I open my closet up, ring sounded off. I keep it 99.